Hello, everyone. So keeping up with compliance documentation in the cloud can feel like a constant chase, right? AWS Artifact gives you access to compliance reports and agreements for AWS responsibility of the shared compliance responsibility model. Hi, I'm Yasin Karche, and I'm going to show you how you can use AWS Artifact effectively. Today, we will dive into using AWS Artifact APIs and notifications for compliance report retrieval and agreement tracking. By the end of this talk, you will have practical automation methods to simplify your compliance insights. And a quick note, after the talk, I'll be available right next to the stage here for any questions that you may have about AWS Artifact. Okay? All right. So AWS believes that security and compliance is a shared responsibility between AWS and the customer. AWS is responsible for protecting the infrastructure itself, but the customer's responsibility depends on the cloud services that you choose. And you will find that a majority of sessions in Inforce talk about how to secure your applications, which is a very important topic, obviously. But today, we are going to focus on how to actually get information about the security of the infrastructure that supports your applications, the AWS side of the shared responsibility model. All right? And that's where AWS Artifact helps you. Artifact provides AWS customers with access to approved AWS and third-party compliance documents securely. For example, AWS SOC reports or AWS managed services documents. Also, AWS allows customers to execute certain agreements. For example, the business associate addendum. You can execute these agreements in a self-service manner without needing to reach out to an AWS point of contact. Additionally, you can also get notified when a new report or an agreement of your interest is available. So that's part of AWS Artifact functionality as well. And all of this can be automated to an extent, which we'll talk about in a moment. All right? It's a free service. It's available free of charge. And all you need is an AWS account to access all the stuff that we're going to talk about today. Of course, you need to also make sure that your permissions are set up to have an access to this service. Okay? All right. So this is to give you like a quick preview of how things look in AWS Artifact. So in AWS Artifact, right now what you're seeing is the AWS Artifact service in console. You will find a host of compliance reports here. For instance, in this case, we have a screenshot of PCI reports that's been highlighted, PCI AWS report. You can search for any report that you need using different columns like title, description, and so on, and you get what you need real fast, okay? And you also have agreements in Artifact, like I mentioned. So let's say you're dealing with healthcare data, in which case you need to sign business associate addendum to be compliant with HIPAA. You can easily do that with AWS Artifact for the relevant AWS accounts, okay? This is like a quick background for some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. So good. Now you know the basic stuff. You know how to access things and so on. But you don't want to go and keep looking for when a new SOC report is available or a new agreement is available, right? Now I will show you how you can easily configure Artifact to allow you to send an email when a new report is available of your interest or a new agreement is available, all right? So we're going to see a quick sort of video demo. In this demo, what I'll show you first is the functionality in action, like end-to-end workflow, you getting an email and all that. And then I'll dive into exactly how we configured it, all right? So let's begin. So what you're seeing here is that I'm on Artifact console, and there seems to be a new notification. All right, a new report is available. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to check what report that is. All right, looks like a new SOC report is available. I'm on the notification screen. I can view that in the console, but yeah, the notification is available over here. But apart from notification in console, you will see that we have configured it to actually send me an email when the notification is on Artifact console as well. So whenever there's a new report, we can see an email. You can click on the link in the email, and it will take you directly to the report that you subscribe to. In this instance, it's the SOC report. You basically click on that, download it. Before you download it, you accept certain terms and agreements, and then you download the report. Now, one thing to note, when you download the report, we ask you to open it in Adobe Acrobat. The reason is, a lot of times these reports contain important information in attachments. So for example, you will see that in case of the SOC report here, there will be content in the attachment. So I'm going to click on the paperclip in Adobe Acrobat here. And in this case, there's actually an Excel sheet that has a lot of really good information about SOC controls and how AWS complies with that and so on. So that's sort of what we did there. Now I'll show you how we configure it, right? Like how did we manage to do that? How did we manage to get the email? We go back to AWS Artifact. We go into the notification screen, okay? The first thing you will see there is that it will require you to set up a notification hub. It's quite possible for that in your AWS environment, it's already set up, so you might not even see this. But if you do need to set it up, you need to reach out to your admin. They'll be able to do it very easily. I'll actually show you how it's done. You basically go to this notification service, and then you basically, I have selected US East as the notification hub here, and I'll just save and continue. It's as simple as that. It's probably done for a lot of AWS environments, but if not, reach out to your admin. Okay. Once that's done, we go back to Artifact. This was outside Artifact. You know, this notification hub setting is outside Artifact. You go back to notifications. The first thing that you do is click on that toggle that says subscribe to Artifact notifications. That's like the engine that starts running things, you know, that starts sending the messages and so on. Once you do that, for emails specifically, you need to create a configuration to send you an email when the new report is available of your interest. So we're going to do that here, okay? We are not interested in agreements for this particular use case, so we're going to say uncheck that. We're going to, yeah, we do want reports, but we don't want all of the reports. We just want a subset of reports. I want to be notified. In this case, if you remember the beginning of the video, we just want to get notified when a new SOC report is available. So I'm going to uncheck all those categories. I'm just going to check SOC, and that will make sure that when a new SOC report is available, I get an email. I'm going to put a configuration name. You can create many configurations here. So for example, if you want to send out some other email to some other people, when a different kind of report is available, you can create another configuration for that. But for this one, I created a configuration. I enter my email address here for me to get notified when the report is available. Tags are optional, but that's it. It's as simple as that. You go ahead and create a configuration, and just make sure that the configuration is active. Sometimes it takes a couple of seconds, so we do that. And I'm going to now go into the configuration itself to show you one more additional step that you are familiar with for all other sort of things that you probably interact with, which is verifying your email. So you will see that in the delivery channel here, the email status is still pending. That's because you need to just simply verify your email when you first set it up. And once you verify it, your email is ready to deliver the SOC reports and so on for you, right? As simple as that. So what we saw right now is how you can configure AWS Artifact to send you a notification on your email when a new report of your interest is available. All right? You see the email is now active, basically, all right? Okay, cool. Let's get into a little bit more advanced use cases, right? So now let's say you are set up to get notified whenever a new SOC report is available. But you want to go a step ahead, and you would also like to immediately download this report into your own environments as soon as it's available. So maybe you want to make it available to other employees in your organization, or you want to be it to be on your GRC tool. So as soon as it's available in Artifact, you want it somewhere else as well, right? So that you don't have to go into AWS Artifact and get it. So that's where you can use AWS Artifact APIs in AWS SDK. This is something that's available for you. It allows a lot of automation. And we'll see exactly how to use that. We'll go into some code and stuff over here, okay? Once again, in this demo, I'm going to first show you the automation in action. The thing that's we are going to do will be in action. Then I'll show you exactly how we did it, okay? Exactly how we configured it. So let's start. All right, so I'm once again in AWS Artifact console. I'm seeing that a new report is available. Good, looks like a new report was added. I go and check it just to verify, okay, a new report is available here. Once again, it's a SOC 2 report in this example. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Amazon S3 to show you that with the notification, the report was also available there. I'm using an example of Amazon S3 over here just because I want to show you the report can be put into some other service, some other place, right? In your case, it might be your own storage solution, whatever has the ability for you to upload things into your own system, right? Or your GRC tool, whatever APIs are available, you can use that to upload it, right? But in this case, I'm showing the automation with Amazon S3. As you can see here, this SOC report, not only was it available in Artifact, but it's also downloaded in Amazon S3. And once again, it could be, instead of S3, it could be whatever you choose it to be. So that's it. Now I'll show you how we actually configure it, okay? For this, we first, again, go back to AWS Artifact notifications screen. The only thing you need to do here is ensure that subscribe to Artifact notification toggle is on. Once again, that's the engine that sort of drives things. The configuration that we just created is there, but in case of this particular automation, it's not needed. Configurations are for sending emails and those kind of things, but in this case, it's not needed. You need to ensure that you are subscribed to Artifact notifications with that toggle. So that's the main thing you need to do in Artifact notifications. Now, we use Amazon Event Bridge here in this example to consume the notifications from Artifact and trigger certain actions. So I'm going to go into Amazon Event Bridge here, and we'll go into rules. And we have set up a rule here that basically triggers Artifact report download. So what we're doing here is we are monitoring for an event pattern. And in this case, we are monitoring for a pattern where SOC report is available. So if you see category series, certifications and attestations, SOC. So whenever a SOC report, a new version of SOC report is available in notifications, we are going to execute this target. In this case, it's a Lambda function. And I'm going to go into Lambda function and show you how to use Artifact APIs, basically, right? So this Lambda function is going to be executed when you have a report matching the event that we just saw. And over here, we have a Python script that we have written to use the Artifact APIs and to download the report and post it wherever you want to post it, right? So let's walk through that code. The first thing that you do is pretty normal for any AWS service. You get the client to sort of start interacting with, and that's what we are doing here. And then on line number 14, we'll see that we are making a function call to get a report ID and report version. So Amazon Event Bridge has this available in the event that was generated. We need to write a code to sort of do some pattern matching and eke out report ID and report version. That's needed to actually execute Artifact API calls, okay? So this particular piece of code is not anything Artifact specific, but it's just getting the report ID and version out of the Amazon Event Bridge, event. So there you have it, you get that. And then you go back and we'll see the next call here. Once you have the report ID and report version is when we actually start using the Artifact APIs, all right? So first API that we're going to call here is get report metadata. This allows you to get all the details of the report that you might want to use in your third-party system or in your storage system. In this case, we're going to get report details and report name, and you need to pass the report ID and report version to get that, basically, right? So that's what we're doing with this metadata call. We're going to get all those details, right? Once we get all those details, we're going to go to the next step, which is getting term token. Now, this term token thing is equivalent of what we were doing on the UI to accept terms and conditions. So when you automate, how do you translate that into an automation? In automation, you basically need to get a term token for the report that you want to download, and then you need to pass that term token in the next call. So what we're doing here is basically getting the term token for that report, which is actually going to allow us to download the report. You pass the report ID and report version again, get the term token, and then the next call is to basically get the report. It will return to you a pre-signed URL to actually download the report and use it with your own systems. So that's what we're doing here. We'll pass the term token, and we'll get the document pre-signed URL over here. And after that, it's basically your custom code that you will write. You have the URL to download the document. And after that, once you have the URL, over here, we are using S3 again, right? We are uploading it to S3. But in your case, you can use the URL to download the document and upload it wherever you need to upload it. And that's basically it. That's us using automation to get the report as soon as it's available in your own third-party system so that you don't have to go and keep checking in AWS Artifact. All right? Cool. OK, so let's get into our last use case here. I gave you an example of HIPAA agreement in the beginning, right? Now, how would you track if all the accounts that are going to deal with healthcare data have signed the business associate addendum in AWS Artifact? We have a way for you to do that, and I'm going to get into that one now. But before that, let's first have a quick look at how to actually execute an agreement in AWS Artifact, right? Let's look at that, and then we'll talk about how to monitor it, okay? So here, we are going to go into agreements instead of reports. You were dealing with the reports until now, but we're going in agreements now. And the agreement that we're interested in is AWS Business Associate Addendum. You simply want to accept that agreement, but before you accept it, you need to download the agreement and read that. And before that, you just need to accept all the terms and conditions for the NDA. You accept the NDA and download the document. You open it. In this case, it's OK to open it in Chrome because there's no attachments. This is the entire agreement, basically. So you read the agreement, and now you can actually officially accept the agreement. So that's what's going on here. You agree to the terms and conditions. You accept it. And in a similar manner, it's very easy to actually also terminate the agreement. You simply click it, click on terminate agreement, and then you type in terminate. And that's it, as simple as that. This is how simple it is to execute agreements on AWS Artifact, and also enables us to provide you with the right data, which we'll see in the next slide, to monitor stuff, right? OK, so now all the accounts that need to comply with HIPAA as part of that compliance will sign that agreement, right? How do you monitor that they have done it? So we have this list customer agreements API that allows you to list active customer agreement for each AWS account. So this API enables automation and efficient tracking for active agreements for customers, especially for customers that are managing complex requirements or a large number of accounts. This is super handy. And in case of HIPAA example, you can use this API to track if all of the AWS accounts have always signed this agreement. Okay? So that's our third automation use case. All right? Now we'll just summarize everything that we have learned. So Artifact has three main components: reports, agreements, and notifications. Reports allow you to get the latest AWS and third-party compliance reports, download them automatically when they are available, and so on. Agreements will simplify your compliance with select regulations. As part of one of the steps in those compliance programs, you need to sign certain agreements. That's what AWS Artifact Agreements allows you to do. You can monitor the compliance with some APIs. Notifications, again, allows you to get notified when new reports or agreements are available, and they allow you to automatically kick off certain events and processes to integrate with your workflows. Okay? This is basically the URL to AWS Artifact, aws.amazon.com/artifact. Feel free to play around with the tool. It's quite simple, nothing super complex. Yeah, and we are always happy to get your feedback. I'll be right here if you have any questions. And once again, this was Yasin. Thank you for your time. And please make sure to complete the survey in the mobile app. And thank you so much for your time.